he makes sure to coach his guys up to the point where he puts tracking on them when they go on away games to make sure that his team is where they need to be.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that makes sure that when he goes to the West Coast, unlike all these other coaches on the East Coast, he doesn't lose when he goes to the West Coast, which we know that's a big deficiency when the East Coast team goes to the West Coast. This guy is really underrated, but he has to continue to improve because the minute he levels off or even drops off, it's going to be dangerous for him.
Oh, yeah.
My players to watch are two, Corey Bierman and Jonathan Babineau. Why? Yeah, they've been here for a while, but they've been entrenched in one role. These guys are going to be moving all over the front four. Babineau will be a defensive end, left, right, in the 4-3, in the 3-4 with two down. Corey Bierman is going to be standing up, middle linebacker, may even go up to some safety. It's key to watch them because Mike Nolan likes to attack from different ways.
Yes.
And if he's going to move these guys around a lot, it's going to be interesting to watch and see how they use their talents.
Agreed. Now, we've covered all four of the teams. Now, I want to throw this out here. Let's talk about the Falcons last because I know that we get a lot of the pub. Now, looking at the Saints, I do agree with pretty much everything that you said. I don't think that the Saints are going to be that great. I think that they're going to be competitive in their division. But outside of their division, I don't think they're going to be that great. I think it was a mistake, in my personal opinion anyway, to put Will Smith as a linebacker. I think he is. Well, I know, but I just thought it was a mistake. I don't understand how do you put someone of his skill set and size. You know, now Levon Kirkland back in the day with the Steelers, he was 300 pounds playing middle linebacker. No, not middle, but outside linebacker. So it can happen, but I think the Saints are going to suck. I think they'll have a modest. I think they have a modest divisional record.
Let me interject. And I'm the biggest Atlanta Falcon fan, and I go out with my Saints friends all the time. Tamar Sutton, Rick Holiday, Morgan, this is for you. This, with the addition of Sean Payton, this team becomes formidable so much because he's one of the best coaches at adjustments and figure out how to take advantages. He and Drew Brees make the ultimate tandem that stand in the way of any team in this division. Now, if it wasn't for their defense, that team would have won more games last year.
Agreed.
Actually, matter of fact, and even the Atlanta fans have to admit that we were surprised when we shut Drew Brees' touchdown record down. This team with Sean Payton on offense is big plays after big plays after big plays, and then they throw in their Darren Sproles and then Mark Ingram. It's too much to handle for any of these defenses in this division. If the Atlanta Falcons or Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm sorry, Carolina fans, I'm not counting you right now, but if they're going to be able to compete with the Saints, they have to play discipline, and they have to make plays on Drew Brees. And to be honest, it's very difficult to do it, and I'm not sure that any defense in this division is equipped to do it.
I want to make one more point about the Saints. The reason why I think they're not going to be good is because of their defense. We all agree their defense is horrible. However, I think that this team don't have takeaways. I think that just last year was proof that no takeaways, Drew Brees' stats are empty stats.
Oh, yeah, I have to agree with that, too. You have to give takeaways so that you can get the ball back in Drew Brees' hands.
Correct.
You have to do that because the Saints' offense showed last year that they will give away the ball a little bit. But you guys have to be able to take away, like when Darren Sharper was here. When Darren Sharper was here, it was takeaway after takeaway, and then Drew Brees had the ball whenever he wanted it. They have to get back to that, and I'm not sure that they can do it. However, Rob Ryan is the guy that can do it. I just don't think he has the pieces right now.
I don't think he has enough talent.
So they have to do it. Now, we'll say this. They have to do it before Drew Brees gets any older. Because the lifeline on Drew Brees is getting very short. He may have 2 more really good years in him. May. So Rob Ryan has to get that defense back around so that they can make a Super Bowl push. It's just difficult with the rest of the division becoming younger and better.
Speaking of younger and better, talk about the Bucs for a second.
Well, let me point this out real fast before I say anything about the people that walk around with Captain Jack Sparrow on their heels. My thing is this. I know we always talk about divisions, which one is better, and we go back and forth about it. But one thing about this division that I have realized, this division to me is hard because of the simple fact that nobody have both sides. They either have the defense, but not a strong offense, or whatever the case is. I always looked at it in that sense. It's not a dominant team like when we talked about the Broncos and what they have on this side and that side, or we talk about Texans or whatever the case is. As far as these Buccaneers, I think what bothers me is that I feel like, in a sense, I wouldn't be shocked if they can actually do something with the players they got. That's my thing with the Buccaneers. It's kind of like they got the players, or they at least got some decent players, but for some reason, they can't put it together. I don't get it. I never did. They haven't been in the playoffs since Josh Freeman been the starter quarterback. I just don't get it. And as far as what you said about the Saints, you clarified it when you said Rich Ryan got to get his own pieces. Because Rob Ryan, because I keep thinking about what he had in Dallas. I just think about the players that was in Dallas on that defense. And I know a lot of people are big saying, hey, Rob Ryan's going to the Saints, maybe he can help that. But that's the question mark that pops in my head.
Yeah. I'm going to make a couple quick points about the Buccaneers. I love their secondary. When you got those three guys back there, if Revis can be Revis, and Deshaun Golston, I know that he's not great as far as playing center field. Right. But this guy right here, if he hits you, he's a playmaker. And if that ball is loose somewhere, he's a playmaker. I like those guys.
You keep talking about hitting. Can they cover?
He's a safety. I'm not worried about him covering. I mean, if he's playing,
if somebody go over the top, what you gonna do?
What I'm saying is, if this guy, if he gets his hands on that ball, he can take it to the house. I'm not worried about his coverage skills. Because when you got someone like Revis back there, Revis is going to take the best cornerback out. Wide receiver out.
Do you think Revis?
So that's the big question. Okay. Is Revis going to be healthy?
Turning back to his 2011 form?
There's a possibility.
I think Revis goes back to his original form. However, I think it's key that we notice that they do have really talented safeties, but both of them are strong safeties. And the reason I make that point is because it does matter if you cover, not in the NFC West where you came from, but the NFC South, you need to cover your safety.
Okay.
Because of Atlanta's offense, because of Drew Brees and his offense, and because Cam Newton will get you sleeping with Steve Smith. You have to be able to cover as a safety. You can't just be a hitter.
Now,
I just think they're off. I think their defensive secondary is talented, but unproven in this division. Darrelle Revis hasn't seen many of the likes of what's in this division outside of Tom Brady and what he can do.
He's going to work.
And everybody says 3 people. You need at least 4 to make a secondary. And who's the other corner?
It would have been really, really nice. I think I said this to one of you guys.
I think the other corner is a rookie.
I think they're gonna play some with a rookie.
Right?
Is it him?
Darius Slay's in.
I know it is a rookie taking that spot.
It would have been really nice, and I know he wouldn't have started as corner or as anything. It would have been nice to see Ronnie Barber play one more year with this group.
Absolutely.
Now, I do think the tipping point with this team is Josh Freeman. If Josh Freeman can put together a good season, and I think I told Rashad this.
What's a good season?
A good season for him, I would say 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, and maybe like in between 12 and 15 assists.
Let me throw this out real fast.
What's a realistic good season?
Oh, let me throw
this out. I think that's realistic because the interceptions are kind of high.
Well, okay, let me throw this out real fast.